the fuck is good on this cold ass Wednesday night in Baltimore? It's like 2 degrees outside. Like, what's up with that?
You couldn't wait to cuss.
I couldn't wait to curse. I felt like I was holding in a lot of energy, and I just wanted to say fuck something. So, like, what the fuck is going on with you guys tonight?
Okay. So, my name is Brooklyn.
This is Brooklyn.
I feel like cussing too, but we'll cuss when it's time. We are answering hair questions today, so
It's all about hair questions today, guys. We're probably going to skip a couple of subjects and jump into this and jump into that, but it's all about hair today. I am your host for the evening, Challis Aubrey. This is Chatting with Challis with guest co-host Brooklyn Page. This is wifey at work and a good friend of mine. Almost like, well, we like best friends, right?
yeah,
Best
I would
friends.
say that.
Maybe if I smoke, I would probably hang out with a little bit more. I'm not a smoker.
If you smoked,
But
it would take our friendship to another level.
I think it might.
But we're still best friends.
We're
But
best
one
friends.
of these days, you say you're not, but something's gonna be going on. He's gonna be like, I'm gonna be like, you just need to hit
just-
this blunt. You're gonna be like,
Just-
okay.
yeah, I think that might
And then
go
you'll
for
be
a lot
like,
of
why didn't I
swinging.
start doing this sooner? And I'm like, I don't know.
Then I might come to work a lot more mellow instead of with like a stick up my ass, because my clients tell me I mean this shit. So
And my clients better not tell me nothing. Cause
it is.
no, I'm
It
just
is
joking.
what it is.
I love my clients.
Hey, so you guys that are watching, if you cannot see us that well, if you cannot hear us that well, you can please tune into radioonfire.com at this very moment. We are live. And if you want to call in, please call in at 404-436-1277. That's 4 motherfucking 04 motherfucking 436-12 motherfucking 77.
This is the most I've heard. You.
I'm sorry. It's been like one of those weeks. It's been one of those weeks. So, Brooklyn, how was your day?
My day was good. For everybody watching on mine, this is my work husband / coworker / neighbor / best friend.
Yeah, this hoe live
Challis.
right next to me. Can you believe that?
Yeah, we live next door.
She live right next to me. And she comes over and she...
So as you guys know, I am a licensed cosmetologist. I've been doing hair professionally for about 7 years. I've been doing hair unprofessionally for like 20 years. And
What does unprofessional mean for about 20 years?
when you don't have a license yet and you're doing it out your house, out your kitchen.
Oh, because I heard something on television yesterday and they had called the girl a professional escort. And there's no licensing with that.
Yes, there is.
It is?
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, shit. I didn't know.
Yes, you have to get registered, and you get registered with the state, like at the bunny ranches and stuff.
Oh, well.
That's the
excuse
difference between
excuse
like
the shit out of me. I
a
didn't know.
professional escort and girl on the street.
Right. Okay.
Escort. But professionally 7 years. I'm professionally about 20. I'm not the most knowledgeable person on hair, but I know enough to make the shit grow.
That's not true. She knows a lot,
I know a lot, but I don't know it all.
but nobody knows it all.
I know a lot as far as getting your hair healthy. Now, if you ask me about like products and all the trends and stuff, I'm gonna tell you to go to an actual stylist. I'm a hair nutritionist.
Okay, so you're a hair nutritionist. So please tell me, counterpart, co-host for the evening, what is a hair nutritionist? Break that down to me.
A hair nutritionist is somebody who is trying to get your hair in a healthy place. Whether you're trying to get your hair longer or you're trying to improve the health of your hair, if you have dryness, if you have split ends, your hair nutritionist is going to be the one that says, okay, you're not getting this time because it's starting to break your hair off. You're going to get a treatment. You're going to get a trim. You need to put your hair up. It needs to go in braids. As a hair nurturer, I have to turn down a lot of styles sometimes because people want stuff to their demise. And that's where I got to step in and be like, no,
Yeah, I
we're
got
done
you.
with that.
That's the extras.
Yeah. So like, in the salon, like,
What's wrong with this thing?
I don't do relaxers because I don't trust my clients with them. I don't do glue. I won't let you leave your hair out over a weave back to back to back. I'm going to make you get a trim.
Okay.
I'm going to make you get a treatment. Just,
And you heard her say, make you get.
as in you don't have a choice.
As in you don't have a choice. Not meaning that this is an extra fee all of the time, because if you want to keep a person's hair healthy, there's sometimes, if you're a consistent client, there's a lot of discounts and stuff like that involved in those types of things. Not saying that we're all for a discount all the time, but if you go to the salon often, you're bound to probably pay a little less than a person that probably pops in there once every 6 months.
Yeah. And for me, for like the sake of healthy hair, period, I'm going to trim you regardless because it makes the process go by easier. So like if you're getting a weave or like a silk press, I'm going to trim you because I don't want to braid nappy hair and I don't want to press out hair that's not trimmed. Like that's just...
Yeah.
It doesn't look as good, and then like it just doesn't look good outside of the salon, and it just looks sloppy.
I agree.
So.
And then your work is going out. And then when they ask, well, who did that? It's like, well, Brooklyn did. And it's like, okay, well, your ends are a mess. And for those of you who don't really realize why it's important for you to trim your ends, once it starts to split, it continues to split up the shaft of the hair, and then it causes more damage. Your hair can go from extremely long to extremely short.
It's like if you had a piece of yarn and it starts to unravel on one end, you just got to cut it. You can't keep like trying to like do stuff with it. You have to just cut it. Split ends don't behave like regular hair, so like they won't hold a curl, and if you flat iron them, they'll look kind of crunchy. The color kind of fades a little bit. It's hard to detangle through split ends, so it's like when people want to hold on to it, I'm just like, why?
Just
it's
cut
not
the shit off.
Doing anything.
Yeah, like I have a lot of clients come sit in my chair, Brooklyn, and they're like, I don't want it trimmed. And you can literally see through the bottom of the hair, and it's like, ma'am, just let it go.
Yeah.
When you step outside and that wind blows, that's just gonna be over. So just cut this shit off.
Yeah, you're nicer to your clients than I am, though, because I'll tell you.
Yeah, I hear you over there, like kind of like, and they like giggling and laughing.
Yeah, because I'm usually reading them for filth in a nice way to make them like, oh yeah, girl, we should trim. I'm like, bitch, get this trim because this is some bullshit.
Well, how about just pull out the shears and just go ham?
Yeah, I usually just tell them like, okay, so we're doing a trim today. I usually just say it just like that. I used to ask, or like the only time I really make a point to ask is if it's a young girl and she's been dropped off. And I'll be like, call your mom or whoever dropped you off and make sure it's okay that I give you a trim, because I don't want anybody's mama coming at me mad that I cut her baby's dead ass hair off.
Absolutely.
That she wasn't doing anything with.
I want my baby hair to grow. Okay, well, the best way to make it grow is to trim it.
I don't want you to trim her hair. Like, your baby has 4 inches of split ends, miss. So, yeah.
Well, for those of you that do not know, we are at 3030 Liberty Heights Avenue, Salon L, 3030 Liberty Heights Avenue. And my Instagram is _individualist, INDIVIDUAIL. Did I get it wrong? INDIVIDUALIST. That's it. I'm sorry, because I pick with people so bad about misspelling that all the time.
Don't turn this into no spelling bee.
She is...
Mine is Minako Styles. No, Minako _Styles. So that's MINAKO _STYLES. And that is on Instagram.
Oh, that's a good question.
Styling Hair, which is J. Gill,
Hey,
owner of Lux Hair, wants to know, how do you guys feel about the new generation of stylists and the lack of commitment to their craft? You want to take that first?
I'm gonna go first. Okay. I'm a pretty seasoned stylist. I've honestly only been licensed 2 years, but I've been doing hair for about 11. And when I first started, there was no YouTube, there was no Instagram, there was no Facebook. Everything we had to learn, we went to school to learn, and we pretty much figured it out ourselves, or we sought a mentor and we did the whole apprenticeship thing. Now it's just kind of like social media takes over everything. Most people don't even really seek the chemicals anymore, because everyone's wearing a wig now. And it's funny to me because when we're hiring at the salon, every person that comes in there is like,
I'm a weave specialist.
I'm a weave technician. I make wigs. Like, you don't know how to do nothing else. When somebody come in and they want a haircut, or they want a relaxer, they want some color, they want some hair nutrition, you absolutely have no clue on what to do. The hair underneath the weave still has to be protected. It still has to nurture and grow, and it should be healthy at the end of the day. So I don't really understand the purpose of just being a weave technician if you're not really protecting the hair accordingly. So I just kind of feel like, particularly the younger generation of stylists nowadays have pretty much just gotten lazy. I just feel like lace and wigs and sew-ins have just taken over everything, and they just completely forgot about, you know, the healthiness of the hair.
I feel like the new stylists, they definitely, it's all right. It's one thing if you don't know the ins and outs of like the properties of the hair and how to get it healthy and everything else, that's fine. But if you're going to specialize in something, then specialize in it. If you specialize in, you know, weaves, then your weave should be on point. Like, I'm a weave specialist. I don't have the patience for updos and molds and finger waves, and I don't do that stuff. But I do mostly weaves, but I'm damn good at weaves. So it's like these new stylists, they're like, oh, I only do this. But the style that they only do, like, they're not really doing that well. So that, and then also like learning about the business end of their craft, because anybody can pick up a curling iron and curl hair. But if you're not going to advertise and promote yourself and set your appointments and upsell services and book future appointments and build a clientele,
Right.
then it's like, what's the point? Because you could be the best stylist, but if you're just like sitting in a salon and you're not really applying yourself, no one's like searching the streets looking for
Yeah,
you.
they're not, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you kind of have to make yourself known. And a lot of these
put yourself out
stylists,
there.
they think like, oh, I have my license, I'm gonna go sit in a salon and money's just gonna like flow
Roll in.
into my
Right.
lap. And it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
And a lot of them feel like through like social media and YouTube, like they can learn enough like little things here and there, but let's get on YouTube for a second.
Well, social media to me is taking over even the learning process.
Yeah.
When the clients sit in the chair and they think they already know what you're going to do, and they're going to tell you what to do because they got on YouTube, and because
Right.
this YouTuber has millions and millions of followers, they assume that she's correct. You guys who even pay attention to the videos half the time, they blink and her hair's done.
Right.
They didn't
For
even
the-
show
for the
you the
record-
in-between stuff. That's
For the
going on.
record, do not get in a stylist chair talking about like, I don't care about the girl on YouTube. Don't show me the bitch's video. Because it's not like YouTube is some like honest place full of people that are like
It's not.
trying to help.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Now YouTube is like all these personalities fishing for likes, and they'll tell you anything. And what pisses me off is you have people that like come to the salon and they're like, oh, well, you know, Beauty Body 24 told me to put orange juice in my hair. Is that gonna make my hair grow? And it's like, does the bitch have long hair? Because if not, it doesn't work. And they have these videos like, so I'm just gonna put this orange juice that I got from Sally's, and they do all this bullshit, and then
freshly
like
squeezed.
they skip through the part of the video that you need, and they're like, oh, well, I ran out of photos, but this is the finished product. So then you just like, you see the end and you're just taking their word
Yeah.
for it. Like, these people, something about people get paid to make videos on YouTube, so it's like they want your clicks and your likes.
Right.
Not all of them. And
They
a lot
know
of them tell you
absolutely
like they're
nothing.
not professional
Yeah.
hairstylists. They know a little gimmick that works for them. It's kind of like if you got a car and your door is like nigger rigged. It's like, well, this is the trick I use to open my door, but that's not going to apply to everybody's door and everybody's car.
Then their hair texture is different. You can't have the girl on YouTube. She's like Puerto Rican and her edges are laid in the name. But then you come to me, it's like, oh, well, she used this edge control. And I'm like, her hair is Puerto Rican and yours is African. It is not going to do the same thing. Don't think you have the answers to everything because somebody else had the answer to the situation that worked for them. Everything you see on social media that works for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Our job is to see what works for you.
Yeah, and to, okay, y'all, I can't, look. There we go. And then also, it has to kind of make sense. Like, if, for the record, if there were some method or technique that just like magically grew your hair and magically made your hair thicker, everybody would know about it. This information wouldn't be like limited to this one girl on YouTube that you just so happen to find. Hey, LaShawn. Everybody would know. It wouldn't be like this mystery. Everyone would be
Everybody
taking
would
the
know.
vitamin. Everybody would be using the oil, and everybody would have hair down to their ankles, swinging it all over the place. So it's like you hear these little trends like the inversion method, where it's the scientific study that if you hold your head upside down for like 10 minutes once a day, it'll grow an inch in 7 days. okay, so show me your waist length hair in a couple of weeks. Like, if
So
that's,
that just sounds like a bunch of.
it just
rubbish
doesn't make
to
any
me.
sense. So you
That's
just have to
weird.
be mindful of like
That's just weird.
stuff that just doesn't make no sense. If it did, everybody would be doing it, and I would already be on it. 'Cause-
Well, the growth of your hair, the texture of your hair, and the healthiness of your hair depends on the lifestyle that you live. If it's hereditary that you come from a family of alopecia or they're losing their hair or even cancer or anything like that, that's just that's already there. But for those that are just trying to grow hair, you have to understand that what you consume in life, as far as what you eat, what you drink, if you work out, those types of things play a major role in how your hair grows. I put it on Facebook earlier today, if some of you didn't see it, about how I see clients probably twice a year, and each time they come, their hair is worse than the 6 months before. Because you're not making a consistent appointment with me weekly or bi-weekly so that your hair, which has a personality, your hair has feelings. It's not, you're not, it's the truth. It is.
Yeah,
It's kind of like,
that's-
oh, I like his hands. I like his products. I like his tools. Your hair needs to get used to the same person, the same products, and the same
the
tools.
same treatment.
The same treatment.
It's like a garden. Like you
is.
you wouldn't just let anybody come into your garden and just start like tending to it because they don't know what you did to it last. Like hair needs consistency to grow.
Absolutely.
So it's like you can't do all these inconsistent things like, oh well, last week I used this cream and this week I used this butter and tomorrow I'm gonna do a hot oil treatment and then next week I'm gonna do a relaxer and how come my hair not growing? Like bitch, because you all over the damn place.
you
Like you need to
skipping
just
from
do
stylist to
some
stylist with this.
regular stuff. For the record, hair, on average, hair grows half an inch a month. So in 1 year, you have the potential to grow about 6 inches of hair, give or take an inch. Nothing really speeds up that process. It grows a little bit faster in the summer and a little bit slower in the winter, and it averages out to about 6 inches in a year. So when people are like, you think body simmer my hair gonna be to my bra strap? No, take a ruler and measure 6 inches, and that's where you'll be in about a year. It doesn't just, nothing just speeds that up.
And I can't tell you how fast your hair gonna grow. It's like, I mean, we can tell you that's about the average, but when you sit down and be like, how long I got before my hair touched the middle of my back? I have no earthly
like
idea.
as long as you're consistent. And then you have to keep in mind, like, if you're malnutrition, if you eat like shit and your diet's all messed up or whatever, you may be malnutrition to the point that your hair isn't growing at the rate that it's supposed to. And so that's where like some people might start taking a multivitamin and it makes their hair growth, grow at its normal rate, and they're like, oh, it's making my hair grow faster because you were malnutrition. Like,
Yeah.
but you could be getting those nutrients in your diet and to like get your hair growth to where it's supposed to be. But there's things that people do that stunt their growth. But most people don't have a problem growing hair. They have a problem retaining their length. And they think like the solution is something that you're putting on your scalp, and really it's about how you treat your ends and keeping them trimmed and moisturized.
Because even if your hair is growing, doesn't mean it's going to grow thick. Excuse me. Your hair could grow out and be extremely, I'm going to say thin, but just not as thick as you would want it
What's up, Mike?
to grow.
Um,
But you have to factor your hairstylist into your bills. You have to factor your barber into your bills, just like you pay your BG&E and your water. You have to factor your hair into your bills. You have to.
yeah, I mean, just like you factor anything else, because it's frustrating for a stylist. Like, we don't want to be the last stop on a client's like list, where it's like, oh well, my BG&E almost got cut off, and I just paid for Ray Ray's school trip, and you think I could get a discount? Like, no, girl, I don't have anything to do with your BG&E or Lil Ray Ray. Like, I still have bills, and you still want this $150 weave in your head. Like, everybody has little vices that they factor in, especially us weed smokers. So if you put your weed money aside, you should put your hair money aside. There's just like no excuse. When I want my hair done, I put my money aside for it. It's just as simple as that. So budget out the quality that you want to get, whether it's like for your haircut. Like I tell guys now, take like $50 aside to pay for your cut. Maybe if you get your face trimmed up, tip your barber. Like, you're worth that $50, period. And you're going to spend it on something else stupid anyway. And for the girls, especially girls that wear a weave, there's no reason you should have something in your head for more than 2 months that you don't pay a good amount of money for. Like, you shouldn't want a weave that's but so
You
cheap.
shouldn't wear glue in for a month. Come on, people.
Yeah, and 2 months, 3 months tops for a weave.
I say 10 weeks. 10 weeks is it for me. That's about 2.5 months. That's, upon consultation, and that's depending on your hair, the type of hair you have, and what we're trying to achieve. And just like if you don't pay your bill, it can be, they'll turn it off. They'll turn off your BG&E if you don't pay it. Your hair can get damaged if you don't treat it properly. That's with anything that you do. You have to treat your hair properly.
John wants to know if weaves help grow your hair. Yes and no. Weaves, they don't help your hair grow, but they allow your hair to grow undisturbed. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when people have their hair out, they're like brushing through it and they're combing it and they're styling it and they're putting heat on it. And all that stuff over time takes its toll on your hair. So if your hair is like braided up in a weave or it's like under a wig and you're not touching it and you're just leaving it alone, then it's going to grow, or you will retain more length than you would if it were out and you were like trying to style it all the time. So like if you're taking care of your weave and you're keeping your real hair like moisturized and stuff like that, yeah, it's gonna grow. Any weave or braid style should be like an aid to growth. So like if you're wearing weaves back to back, braids all the time and your hair is not growing, then something's going wrong during the process of like taking care of your hair in those styles.
I think that's it's kind of one of those answers where it can be this or it can be that. It really just depends on the person and what we're trying to achieve as far as like the hair growth. Realistically, I get a bunch of clients that think that the weave is just the answer to all of their problems. And then when they come in, it's like you have all of these requests for how you want your weave to look, but your hair isn't meeting the standards for what you want. You want to leave your edges out so that you can pull it up. You want to do, a 3-part weave or a vixen weave. You want to do all of these things that you see on YouTube, again, to fix your problem. It's not, everything you see isn't for you. And I think you will end up damaging your hair more trying to get what you see as opposed to just letting us do what we need to do. Getting a weave every time you come in every 2 months without giving it some type of a break, even if it's just for a couple of days, that's not healthy either. Getting a weave right after a relaxer, relaxing your leave out every time you come in for a maintenance, it's just not
relaxing your leave out, period.
I mean, well, I have clients, me in Brooklyn, we on
we're on different pages when it comes.
We be on different terms
when it comes to that, because I'll force you to press that leave out and shut the hell up. I'm not relaxing a piece of your hair and not the rest.
I need it. It just depends on the texture of the hair. As far as your weaves go, you need to understand what type of hair works for you. You want Mongolian curl and you got African booty scratcher edges and it's just like a lot. And you want me to blend this and you want me, it's just kind of like, girl.
And then also like, you got to be realistic about your lifestyle. Like if you sweat a lot and you take long steamy hot showers and you have rough passionate sex, you're not the candidate for like all this leave out, and especially if you're natural, like edges out and hair out around the back. Like if you're really active and you're sweating all the time, there's no point in leaving your hair out to keep reverting over your weave. Like people give a lot of flack about like closures, like, oh, it doesn't look natural. You know, it really doesn't look natural when you have an afro on the top of your head and then you have this long Brazilian hair. Like that really doesn't look natural. So if you're going to go the route of like a full weave, at least the texture is consistent to where you can navigate through life without looking like two different continents are clashing on the same. It just looks bad. A lot of people like, I want to leave my edges out so I can put my hair up in a ponytail. If you don't wear your real hair up in a ponytail, then why? I don't know. But people like, that's just weird to me. I feel like if you want to wear a ponytail, get a ponytail. And if you want to wear a weave. I don't see why people pay hundreds of dollars for hair and then hundreds of dollars for installations to pull it up in a ponytail. That's not really a style to me, especially when it's like, you just want to be able to do this basic ass shit. I absolutely hate seeing that. It just looks bad. Like, what's the point of getting long hair installed in your head if you're just gonna wear it in this like frumpy? I mean, it is, but it's just like it's not. I would wear this around the house, like greeting the pizza boy, hey, you know. But out at the club, I want to swing every bundle that I paid for.
Because you know she start talking when we come. She's like, I usually don't talk to people. Yeah, but realistically, the more hair you leave out, the less longevity your weave will stay in. You want all of the edges out, the leave out, a 3-part, all this other kind of stuff, and then you're flat ironing like the shit out of it. And then I don't see you come in every 2 weeks like I ask you to for the maintenance. Only your hairstylist should be flat ironing your natural hair.
Seriously.
Only your hairstylist should be flat ironing your natural hair.
And if you're not going to keep up with it, then you have no business leaving hair out. Like, why even put yourself in the position to keep, if you know you're not going to tie your hair up and you know you're not going to keep the heat out of it, you know you're not going to tie it up in the shower, like, why set yourself up for failure? Because you're just going to put product on it. Mm-hmm. Get all this product on it. It's going to get all dirty. The product's going to get into the weave. The weave is going to get all stiff. Now you really got to wear in a ponytail because it just looks crazier than absolute hell. It's just like, why do all of that?
Come bursting in the salon so like you and die. Your knee like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. How come my hair not laying right? Like, because you're doing everything wrong that I told you not to do. So usually with my clients, like, if I notice your leave out is on the trash side, I'm going to at some point say, okay, so I gave you 2 installations with leave out back to back. The next time you're getting a closure, and don't come back in the salon without a closure because I'm not putting it in. We're not playing this game. I'm not gonna do your weave until you go bald, and then like now you're talking about glue and shit. Like, no. My brother wants to know: does getting your hair braided grow hair for guys? Same thing about the weaves. With the guys' hair grows pretty fast because guys don't style their hair. It's as simple as that. Everyone's like, oh, boys' hair grows real fast. Everybody's hair grows pretty fast. Boys don't put heat in their hair. They're not doing their hair every other day. They're not putting glue in their hair. They're not ripping tracks out. They're not getting relaxers. They're not getting color. They're not doing all this stuff. They kind of get it braided and they just leave it alone. The most issues I've seen guys with hair have is like split ends. But other than that, like most guys have healthy hair because they don't do a lot of stuff to their hair.
And it can. I mean, and also it can be hereditary how fast or how slow your hair grows. I mean, if your hair is growing slow, I mean, blame your grandmother. It could be her fault. It's not always your fault that your hair doesn't grow the way that you want it to grow. But for some guys, yeah, it can help if they get their hair braided. But for me, past a certain age, I'm not braiding no grown-ass man's hair. I'm just not doing it. See, you're not going to be, no, we're not I'm not working with 40-year-olds and they want cornrows straight to the back.
But I feel like, because we're entering this new era that you are helping usher in. If we're going to be in an era of man weaves and buns, you can't take braids off the map. That's not fair.
I'm gonna man weave you a braid at the top, but client gonna come bursting in. Man, I use some cornrows to the back, man.
Then you can come to my chair and get the best
she gonna braid you because I ain't doing
of your life. John wants to know, what's your take on a client with 10 inches of natural hair getting a 32-inch weave and having no clue how to maintain long hair? Just oh, it's Indian. I shouldn't have to do anything. Actually, for a stylist, 10 inches of natural hair is a stylist's dream.
It is.
If you have 10 inches of natural hair, I can pretty much make anything look good on you. What kills me is like 5 inches or less. Because
I told you they think the weave is the answer to everything.
All right, I'm wearing a wig, just so y'all know. My leave out right here, this is where my real hair is. Yeah, my leave out is about 14, 15 inches. So even if there was like 10, this is still a good blending length. Once you get to like this is not shit. And you shouldn't even want it out over a weave. That's just my opinion. I'm not a nice stylist, and I will tell you that. Like, I want this out. Why?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna give you a weave,
braid it out.
You're gonna get the kind of weave I want to give you, which makes sense to the type of hair that you have and the length and the thickness that you have. We're not gonna
like that client.
We're not
that told
doing
me
no flip method.
That it was my job to give her what she wanted.
Yeah,
you remember that lady? She's like, it's your. She's like, I gave her what she wanted. She wanted her leave out that she had just like perm to death. She wanted to leave that out. And I'm like, why do you got me working in the elephant graveyard when you got Pride Rock right over here where all the long hair is at? And she wasn't interested in that. And so I left it out, and she was complaining about it. And she's like, I just feel like it's your job to do what I ask you to do and make it look good. And I was like, wait, first of all, I ain't got no job. And it's not to do what you tell me to do. My job is to get your hair healthy. That's what I signed up for. I didn't sign up to be your stylist. I signed up to be your cosmetologist.
In the way that I know to make it healthy.
And so I was like, I did my job by telling you not to leave that side out. And you wanted to play these games with your life. I have long hair. I don't have any reason to steer you wrong. So you got what you wanted. And this is what you wanted to work with, this broken off side.
Well, if you're gonna get 32 inches, please bring 3 or more bundles. You want?
If you're gonna
I'm
get
gonna
32
install your
inches,
2 bundles, but you
get
look like a thin mint leaving
just
out.
get a closure, and you can't say it's not gonna look natural, because 32 inches of Brazilian hair doesn't look natural on any black woman, period. So if you're going to go the weave route, and no one's wondering if that 32 inches your hair, period. So you might as well get a closure, because it's gonna look better, and nobody's gonna be like, "Oh my God, is this a closure?"
Oh, they know.
People know. People whose hair is messed up, they know what the deal is, and people who have long hair that protect their hair, they also know what the deal is. So it's only like this clueless gap of people in the middle, like, "Why you got on a closure?" Huh? I mean, you're a guy. And
you don't know what a closure is?
That's the whole point. Guys don't really care.
You've seen one. You probably seen plenty.
It's a piece of a closure. Okay, so those of you that don't know, a closure is a piece of lace with hair ventilated through it, so it kind of looks like they have a part.
Looks like
but
a
they
natural
don't leave
part.
any hair out. Because it closes up the top of the weave.
No, it's not a real part. It's lace.
See, and I say that to say most guys don't even know if you're wearing a closure or not. So you might as well just like get a closure, because if someone's gonna judge you, they're gonna judge you for having weave in your head in the first place. So you might as well just take it on home and get a closure, unless you have
because men are damn near trained not to even touch a woman's hair or go nowhere near it. So you probably not gonna. By the time you get to her house, she probably all bonded up anyways. Yeah,
because
so
I can't think of the last time somebody ran their fingers through my hair without being invited to do so.
Yeah, because you probably flip, I'm sure. And I'm a dude. I don't like people touching my hair.
Let's see if we have any more questions. Someone earlier asked me how long I've been growing my hair out. A really, really long time. I stopped counting because I've cut my hair so many times. I cut my hair 3 years ago. I cut my hair really, really short.
I trim your hair once every 6 months.
No, but when I cut it.
Oh, when you cut it.
When I cut it. I was going through a breakup, waiting to exhale, and I had my hair was about as long as this weave is right now, and I cut it to here, right there. I wanted all my relaxed hair to be gone, and I grew it back out from there, and now it's back to here. And that was 3 years ago. Yeah, and I've cut it since then.
Because her hair is long and she's just wearing.
Yes.
When I walk into the salon, I'm like, Brooklyn, why are you wearing that unit that's a centimeter longer than your natural hair?
It's a good.
And it's just girl,
it's a good 4 or 5 inches longer than my hair.
Since she's a tall girl, you can wear 32 inches.
We will address that, because I get that all the time. My hair is really long, and people are always like, why do you wear weave if you already got long hair? Because I want to keep my hair long, and if I wear it out all the time, I'm just gonna style it all the time until it starts to break off. So it's my hair is long because it's usually braided up and put away, so I just leave it alone. Yeah. And it's not this long, and I can curl this hair all the time. I'm not curling my real hair all the time, burning it all up.
She gonna leave that in 3 more days.
Whatever.
She let me have it once, y'all, because I trimmed her hair by mistake. Because I'm the only person at the salon that cuts her hair, because everybody knows I'm the mom with the shears. But she was like, can you cut my weave into layers? She comes, sits in my chair with this 10, 12, and 14-inch weave.
No.
And her hair is already 12
it was
inches.
A 14-inch weave, and my hair is my
15.
hair at the top is about 14 inches. So I just needed it to just be just blend it in. And you know, the sheer
She
demon
had a
here
fit. She started throwing
just starts,
brushes
like,
and
and
stuff.
I'm like, I feel like it's the layer. I didn't throw any brushes.
You might as well.
I did throw a tantrum though,
She might
because
as
when
well
I'm
have.
when I'm upset, it's like all over my face, and all I could think about was this like 1, possibly 2 inches of hair that was cut from my leave out that you can't even see now.
She didn't even. I don't think she even properly measured it. But that might have been the first time at the salon that I left, and we were kind of like
and did not
upset at
kiss
each
me
other.
goodbye.
Because she was just like all flustered in the face. I'm like, I'm just gonna leave this whole alone.
You know when you need to be dramatic about something. It's like if you get gum in your hair, like you have to make a fuss. You got to make.
Well, she knows I didn't mean.
I
it.
wouldn't have been a human being.
But you still cut my hair.
Right, because at the once it was over and like I took my pins out, I was like, okay, well, it's still cute, you know.
I texted her like, I need to talk to you because we're not gonna be at work like all upset. Like I should just bought her a meal because the bitch is fat. She likes to eat.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. My clients even know, like, bring me food especially if you're running late, especially if you run late getting you food.
My clients know to bring you food.
You should bring me food.
It's like, you didn't bring me a cupcake. They're like, I don't even know you.
And I don't
So next time, bring 2.
Yes.
Hey Janie, what's up? I'll be looking for you soon. I hope your natural hair is doing pretty good. Janie's hair grows pretty good. And when are you having that baby, anyways? I'm gonna switch. Call-in numbers 404-436-1277, 404-436-4277. Again, I'm online live with Miss Brooklyn Page here, and we just like chopping it up about the whole hair thing. I have my own men's hairline out. I'm trying to get this webpage done soon. This shit is expensive. But I got my own men's hairline out. It's called His Hair. I do men's hair replacement anywhere from tracking it up to just putting an entire unit on. I find that online when you're looking for...
No, you got to break that down for people that
Okay,
don't. Okay, so
when
when he says he does his hair units, what he means is if you are a man and you are balding or thinning up top, he will make it look like hair is coming out of your scalp. You can get a fade. You can get
a cruddy. You can
a man bun. You can get some locks like Killmonger. Wakanda forever. Yeah. You can get that. You can get that.
And I got you.
If you go on his Instagram, which is _individualist, I'm not gonna spell that. Individualist. You'll see it, and it's amazing. I mean, straight up bald to a fade.
So my mission right now is to be the go-to guy for overnight delivery for units for my professionals, my barbers and my cosmetologists who can just get on my webpage once it gets up and just order whatever you need, overnight shipping, and you'll have it for your client the next day as opposed to waiting, 6 to 10 weeks for it to come from Mongolia or some shit. And when you get online normally and you're looking for like a toupee unit or a men's unit, it's usually the more Caucasian people who can get whatever kind of hair that they want. But as far as us African American men who have a million different types of textures of hair, they probably only give us one little sad little kinky unit. So to get it from me, you will be able to get any type of hair that you need. So there is certain stipulations to it. Please, 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 please do not contact me if you grow good natural hair. Please do not contact me if your hair is not thinning or balding. I will not answer to you. You cannot have everything. The men that are balding and thinning want what you have already. Your hair is growing healthy. It's good. You don't have any problems. So please do not inbox me and wanting me to cut your hair down in the middle so that I can apply you more hair on top.
But he can do that.
I can do that.
If you want to cut your hair in the middle for the sake of some braids, we've done it. And we, like when we did Tokyo's hair.
We did, but this is a little different.
For the fade.
Because Tokyo was on the Kylie Jenner show, and I wanted some promotion. So, anyways, I have had my celebrity clients. I've done Tokyo. I've done, I don't know the guy's name that's in the Medea's movies, but I've done him twice. I've done Milan. Who else? I've had a couple of celebrities.
You did Christopher Milan. You did, I don't know, the Tyler Perry guy. He was cute.
The Tyler Perry guy.
He was real cute.
Yeah, I have. So those are like exceptions because, Milan bald headed, but the other two, they were, I wanted.
See, this is the
so
thing
hook
with
'em
the
up.
man weaves. Challis didn't think that he was going to usher in this whole new wave of clientele. And you have men that want to switch their hair up, and he's learning that and navigating through the patience for that. Because it's one thing dealing with the girls as far as weave, but dealing with guys and weave, like, y'all don't know nothing about it. So y'all just see like magical stuff that we do to our hair and assume like, well, can I get that too? And so that is where.
Well,
you
I'm kind of like you with the relaxer
Tell
thing
these
when it
people.
comes to, because the clients that have hair already, they are kind of not the worst ones. They're the most irky ones because I started something. And now that I've started it, they look in the mirror, it's like, oh, I can have anything I want. So they go from just a regular old fade. Next thing I know, they're emailing me or hitting me up, and they want this platinum blonde something or orange with a burgundy tip. And it's like, I want this. And I'm like, dude, like,
And look,
that's just
his
a
clients
lot.
got real extra real quick. First, it was like, I want to look real natural. And then it was like, all right, I brought this color and this long braid. Like,
And I want
it's
braids
just-
down my back. I'm like, sir, but hey, I can do it. I mean, the charge is there. You won't pay for it, but it's definitely there. John said, "Is your hair?" I mean, it is. I am rocking one of my own units. This is Bohemian curly hair, and I flattened it out and gave myself a haircut. This is my second install with this. I've taken it off and washed it and put it back on my head.
My
For those
brother.
of you that didn't.
My brother said he's putting conditioner in his
bald
hair
headed.
and it's growing now. So let me tell you guys, Dylan, I'm about to put you on blast.
Hey, Brittany, I love you.
So my brother, he came out to visit and he was at the salon with me and I'm like, I'll wash your hair. And I noticed like I couldn't really see his curl pattern when I was washing his hair. And I was like, what are you putting in your hair? And he's like, well, I wash it like every other day. I'm like, what shampoo? He tells me with Head and Shoulders.
Oh gosh.
All right. And I'm going to just put this out there for the record. Head and Shoulders is for these people. It's not for these. It's not for us. Okay.
It works
That's
good
like
on
it's a really strong detergent, and our hair is already dry by nature. And when we strip our hair with detergents that strong, it leaves our hair very brittle. To make it worse, he wasn't using conditioner, which just made me ashamed because I'm always telling people about healthy hair. My own brother is not using conditioner. So he's been using it now. He said his hair is growing out better. You can use conditioner and not use shampoo. You cannot use shampoo without using conditioner. You just can't. You can't do that. Your hair you have to put some of that moisture back into the hair after you've stripped all those nutrients and oils and stuff out. And you have the conditioner locks the moisture in your hair, and by the moisture I mean the water.
And what type of water should they use for conditioner?
What you mean? What type? Tap.
Tap
Tap
Well,
water.
I encourage my clients to rinse their conditioner out with a cooler water.
Oh
or
yeah,
tepid
yeah.
water.
Cool water seals the cuticle layer of the hair. It makes it shinier. It helps it hold the moisture more. So we're gonna talk about moisture for a second. 'Cause
Okay.
You know that's my
Yeah, wear it out.
that is my pet peeve. So working with African American clients, our hair is dry by nature, but at the same time, you have people whose hair is in fairly good condition and they are convinced that their hair is dry. Everybody thinks their hair is just so dry and it's just like about to run off their head, and they're trying to, oh my God, my hair is, and it's always so like urgent.
Yeah.
Like my hair's so dry. Like I wish you felt the same way about wrapping the shit, because you real pressed about
Doesn't mean put a bunch of grease in it either.
about it. Exactly, because
Yeah.
you have to understand one, you have to get to know your hair. Most of us put products in our hair on a daily basis for as long as we can remember. So most people don't know or even remember what their hair feels like without a product on it. Lubricated hair doesn't necessarily mean moisturized. It just means you put a substance on top of your hair and it feels slippery to you. Moisturized hair in general, it's like something you kind of train your hair to do. You can't just there's moisturizing products, but you have a lot of things that aren't. So for the record, the most accessible source of moisture for your hair is water. Nothing moisturizes your hair, your body, like water. If you were dying of thirst in a desert and I gave you a smoothie, you'd be pissed off because what you really need is water. Or a substance that can penetrate the hair, the cuticle layer of the hair and get to the cortex. If it cannot penetrate your hair shaft, then it's not moisturizing, it's a sealant. And a sealant can either keep moisture from getting in or lock moisture in itself. So things that aren't moisturizers, oil, butters, most of these creams, grease for sure. Grease is not a moisturizer. I don't care if there's a picture of a unicorn and it says moisture magic. Grease is petroleum. It's Vaseline. Water cannot cut through Vaseline.
And it encourages buildup.
Which is why, like, if you have like grease buildup on dishes, you have to use like an extra strong detergent or like a bleach to cut through the grease because water alone can't break that down. And if you're using products like that on a regular basis, it's going to be hard for your hair to hold moisture because the water can't really penetrate your hair.
Absolutely.
Which just results in more dryness. So like grease and oils and stuff are like a temporary soothing thing, but they don't do anything for the long run. And I tell clients, like, you can sit here and argue with me all day about what you think is moisture, but I know what moisture actually is. So if it were moisturizing your hair, you wouldn't even be asking if it works because it would just be working.
And put this grease in there when you finish.
The first ingredient to the product should be water. There's a clue. It should be water. If it's petroleum, throw it away. It should say water first because ingredients are listed from what's most in the product to the least. So the fewer the ingredients, the best. My favorite moisturizer is water and glycerin. You just mix the two up in a bottle and call it a day.
And most of you probably don't even know to brush your hair before you wash it.
Yeah, and get the like detangled hair out. But if it's like water, then you have like fragrance and like all these 10,000. I mean, some products are fine if the bulk of it is water. But as far as like the heavier stuff, like pay attention to the ingredients because it's usually a product that's just marketed to get you to buy it. And like the hair industry is filled with things that are marketed for people of color specifically because they know that we're consumers. So they're going to put anything on the bottle. I've seen stuff that said like moisturizing shampoo. Isn't moisture supposed to stay? And doesn't shampoo supposed to rinse everything away? So it's like that's like it's like moisturizing soap. I don't really get it. You're supposed to rinse one off and the other's supposed to stay on. So it's just I don't know. I don't get certain products like that. Doesn't make any sense to me.
They don't like on top of.
What's that?
I have an issue with shedding. My hair sheds so it drives me crazy. So what can I
do? How often do you wash your hair? Or shampoo your hair rather?
Well, yeah, I get it done about every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. And how do you normally wear it?
Like
Down.
this.
All right, so
And that's your natural hair.
okay.
And it's not perm.
So sometimes, especially in the colder months when the air is colder, your hair is just more prone to be dry. And then also your hair in the winter months rubbing against your clothes can dry your hair out as well because it's rubbing against like materials that are kind of like pulling that moisture out. A good thing to do you deep condition? Do you get a deep condition when you go to the salon?
No, I don't.
All right, so I would probably do like a moisture and a protein treatment. Incorporate that into your washing routine, like maybe every other, or you could do like 2 weeks you get moisture and then next 2 weeks you get protein and alternate. I do a treatment every time I wash my hair just because.
Don't use keratin.
Yeah, you don't need like Apogee, and let your stylist do protein treatments because at home it's just people have this notion of like letting things sit in their hair for like hours and hours at a time and hair absorbs things on like a molecular level. It doesn't take like hours for a strand of hair to absorb a product that it's submerged in. But yeah, stick with your treatments and stuff like that. And then like if you notice like the days leading up to your next appointment, when your wrap just kind of gets dry, once that happens, it's best to start wearing it up instead of trying to keep wearing it down, because sometimes just when your new growth starts to revert and your ends are still kind of straight, where those textures meet, you're prone to breakage. And so it's best to just kind of put your hair up until the next wash day. Or you can start like misting it with water and putting like a leave-in conditioner in it, and just kind of like, I let my hair revert leading up to the wash day so that it can be like as moisturized as possible.
Conditioner really to me doesn't have a time frame for how long it can stay in. I tell my clients, if you're wearing natural hair, condition it on your day off and just put a plastic cap on it, just roam the house. I mean, you don't really necessarily have to sit under the dryer, but it does help if you just condition your hair and just kind of like let it sit. And I said don't use keratin, especially products with too much keratin in it, because your hair is already made out of keratin, and keratin is really, really strong. And to put more in there, it's almost like, what do you call it, like a spaghetti noodle.
Yeah, it's like letting a noodle dry out.
Yeah, it's just snap. It'll just snap it off some more.
But yeah, leave-in conditioner is like the best. Like, I'll take some Cantu and just start like globbing it in my hair, cause your hair absorbs it, cause the majority of it is water. So like, I don't even, when I'm wearing my hair wavy, like I don't even use gel to lay it down. I just do like a paw full of conditioner, like you would a little girl like trying to fix her hair up into a ponytail, and you will be surprised the wave action that you get just from like, I was like, I didn't know my hair waved up with just conditioner.
So do you still use the silicone mix?
Yes. Oh my God. Do you know about silicone mix? Girl.
It's strong as shit.
Let me put everybody up on this real
smells
quick.
good, but it almost smells like overly concentrated
baby.
No, like overly concentrated with detergent. To me it does, because it can give me a headache.
Some people like it and some people don't. So okay, we're talking about this conditioner that I've been using for the past like 5 years now, called Silicone Mix. It is a Dominican conditioner. I actually heard about it on YouTube, and everybody was like raving about it, like, oh, Silicone Mix, and I didn't trust it because too many people were like, they're paying these people. I had like some cheap hair like this, and I was gonna wash it, which I usually don't wash store hair, and I was like, I'll try it, and I happened to see the Silicone Mix, and I was like, I'll try it. I put that shit in my hair, girl. And it just came to life, right? So at the time I was transitioning from natural to relaxed hair. So like half of my hair was natural and the other half was relaxed. And that is the worst state of hair. Like managing through that is so difficult. But I put that mess in my hair and my fingers slid through, and I was like, like, it was at that moment I was like, you know what? I can go natural now, because now I have a product that glides through my natural hair. It gets the hair so situated, and it only needs to be on for like a couple minutes, and you feel it the moment you put it in your hair.
You can feel it on your hands too. You can feel it kind of coating.
Any beauty supply store has it now. They all carry it. It used to be like a little bit harder to find, but like especially for like little kids, like anytime I get a little girl and I have to detangle her hair, I'll put some of that in some water in a spray bottle and just spray her hair down and start detangling, and it just like it detangles.
And you know, to detangle your hair a little bit at a time. Even if you have a little bit of hair, don't ever just gob it in there. Just you go pull out more hair. Just section off just a little bit. You know, pull it through, comb it through with a wide tooth comb, so that you can keep the hair that you have.
But so
that's always.
It's good for natural hair weave. I put that shit on.
And you can come get a silicone mix treatment at Salon L at 3030 Liberty Heights Avenue in Baltimore.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can come get this banging shampoo massage from me.
I do not shampoo hair.
No.
Nor do I color hair. I can color hair. I can give you some bomb ass highlights. I'm not doing that. I learned that from when I used to work at like the white salon, and the girls would be like, I want blonde, and this is ashy, and I'd be like, look, it looks blonde to me, but when I step outside, I'm just like, oh god. That's
I don't color hair either. So I send all my color clients.
I'll color the bundles.
I'll cut if you say you want, and I gotta be in the mood, because if I'm usually like backed up. If you say I want a blonde or a brown, anything from brown to blonde, I got you, because that's a one-step process. I'm just putting bleach and developer on the hair. When you say I want cognac, peppermint swirl, that's no. I'm gonna send you to Tyrone. Tyrone is our colorist. That's Salon L.
Can they bring the bundles already colored, or you guys don't like that?
They can bring them already colored.
I don't mind it, but if it's bad, I'm gonna tell.
Yeah, because some people say they bleach their hair at home and they shampoo it and they don't condition it and it's all dry. Or they use some box color, or the hair is cheap and the hair is turned like some weird color.
Oh, that's another pet peeve of mine. Please do not bring me. Excuse me, I'm getting ready to go off. Don't bring me no that Brazilian hair that come in the pack that say you can color it, you can rod it.
Brazilian hair from the store.
Don't bring me that and tell me to color that. That does not color. And if it does turn blonde, as soon as you comb it, it snaps off. Do not bring me that from the store. Just buy it like that already, or get you some decent bundles. But don't bring me no pack hair and tell me to color it. It does not.
Yeah, pack hair doesn't like. What you have to understand, pack hair. Okay, like this is pack hair. This is some yaki.
Pack hair from the store, you guys.
Pack hair is hair that comes from the store. Some people call it store-bought hair. Some people call it processed hair. Pack hair is usually consists of hair that is swept up off the floor in the salons of China, and animal and synthetic hair. Period. So just the scoop on hair extensions. This is called a yaki weave. By law, any hair that comes from a living, breathing organism can be classified as human hair. So
I never knew that. That's
now
new for me.
you know.
Does you call it pack hair because it comes in a pack and not a bundle? Like
yeah, because okay, so you
pack
have
hair is
when you
mainly
have pack
processed
hair
hair.
is like it's usually like mainstreamed, like you can get it at any beauty supply store, versus if you're getting like virgin hair from a specific vendor, then you don't know like what wholesaler that they used or whatever. The pack hair is like it's manufactured in factories and stuff like that.
But it's still in when you purchase it, it's still in a bundle though.
I mean, yeah, it's technically a bundle. It's just like in a pack.
And
Like people
sometimes
call virgin hair bundles
fibers.
because like all you get is the bundle when you get it, and I call pack hair pack because it comes in all this.
And that was overly packaged. And I
Oh
remember
my
doing the hair from back in the
God.
day. Doing hair from back in the day and going to the hair store, the pack hair was amazing. It was almost like the virgin hair that we get now. It was great hair, but because there's so many different types of vendors now.
Remember when Yaki was like really good hair?
I remember when Remy was like the best hair.
Like
Everybody was
because
rocking
right,
Remy.
it was like like it was like Yaki was good, and then like Indian was the thing. And then Remy was like, you were that bitch. If you like, when I got my first Remy, I was like, bitch. And then the manufacturers kind of got a hold of the trend, and they got this swift that like, hey, black girls like feeling exotic, so Indian is getting too boring. It's too many girls saying that they got Indian in their family, so now we'll make it Brazilian. And so the shift came from like, oh, you Indian, I got Brazilian. Brazilian got too trendy, and then it's Malaysian, and it's like I tell people, because this girl was about to buy this hair one time, and I was like literally waiting for her to put the money in my hand, and she's like, wait, is this Peruvian? And I'm like, do you even know what a Peruvian girl looks like? Do you even know
the difference
where Peru is on a map to really like, if I told you yes,
clue.
how are you going to prove me wrong?
No clue.
It all comes from China.
It does. It all comes from China, and it depends on. And the virgin hair at first was really virgin hair, and you knew it was virgin hair because it smelled like corn chips. It stunk. It smelled like corn chips.
Because it came off somebody's head.
And no matter how much you washed it,
it's supposed to smell like that?
well, no, not really. But that's how you know what's good. That's hair.
It shouldn't. I mean, it's not supposed to smell really bad, but at the same time, it shouldn't smell like
roses and
silicone and Paris Hilton. Like it should smell like hair.
Smell to it.
Especially like raw hair. So like the real good hair right now, well, not the real, what the real good hair is raw hair.
It's called raw.
It's just raw hair, and you'll know some like you have this virgin hair where it's like you get the bundle and every curl is like perfectly going in the same direction.
That's orchestrated.
That's processed to
the
look
hair
like
is orchestrated
that.
when it comes to wavy like that.
If you took your hair in a ponytail and you cut it, you think every one of your curls is gonna magically be going in the exact same. You know what I mean? Like someone makes it look like that, and that's why people get this hair and then they like, oh, I washed it and it didn't wave back up the same. Girl, because it was never wavy like that in the first place. And the way that you really know is if you look at the roots of the hair, if the first 3 inches are bone straight and then it's this tight wave.
Yeah.
then that means that
That's
they
not the natural
processed
curl
it
of
while
the
it
hair.
was still up in that bundle.
Raw
and then they
hair
just sold it.
looks like oodles and noodles, and it's wrapped up. And from the they don't even honestly
They don't do that rubber band.
They
thing
don't
at
do the
top.
rubber band thing. The hair is wefted and folded, and there's loops around. The
And it'll
actual
look
track.
like, it won't look that attractive. It'll look like if you got your hair blown out. It'll look
Yeah,
like that.
It'll look like that. They
Because
won't
it hasn't
wrap
been
the rubber
flat
band
ironed
around
yet.
it.
It hasn't
And that hair
been
is
like,
more expensive.
it's
like,
more
It is.
expensive
And it's
because
raw.
it is hair that has not been.
That's that Janet Jackson
Nothing
hair.
has
She
been
used
done
that Janet
to
Jackson
it.
hair she used to have, and it was curly as hell, and then she would straighten it, and then it'd be straight. That's the type of hair everybody wants it. That hair
Right.
absorbs product. That's how you know it's good. It absorbs product.
Right, because like most hair, especially like the we're just gonna call it Chinese version hair. You got your Chinese version hair, which is still it's Chinese hair, but it has that European texture to it. People who naturally have straight hair don't put oils and stuff in their hair, which is why I keep telling people, like Jasmine's hard-headed ass, that you can't put oil in a weave because that hair doesn't hold product like our hair does.
Right.
If you had an actual ethnic person's hair in your head, you can put products in it because it's actually like our hair. But when you have this like Russian straight Remy, you know, you can't put oil and butter and grease up in there. Like, it's just gonna be oily and it's just gonna be all greasy. Like, how come I weave so stiff? Like, girl, because you're putting cooking
Just
products.
any old, just any old.
You're putting everything in
If you're
this
looking
hair.
for that hair, I guess the raw hair. Well, I guess where do you even get it from? I've been asking this question.
You would
Nobody seems
want to go to a private vendor. You'd have to. I usually tell people, and this is any hair, because even the Chinese version hair, like you can get some pretty good Chinese hair. Like I'm not even saying it to like rock anybody's boat, because this is like a step under. This is some store hair, and it's in my head. So if you can make the hair work for you, you can make it work for you. Everybody doesn't necessarily need raw hair. Like if you're good at taking care of hair, you can get some yaki or some, you know, virgin hair and just call it a day. But with raw hair, you'd want to like look on Instagram or like Google it. And then even from there, when you find somebody, research them. Like make sure they have people.
Look at the views.
Like go on
All that kind of
YouTube,
stuff.
see if anybody's done any reviews, and not just like an initial review, but like a follow-up review, like a 3-week update. Usually, if there's not a 3 or 4 week update, that person was paid just to promote it in that one video. And just keep scouring the ends of the earth until you feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's definitely
Once you
good.
find good hair, you can reuse it, and that's why it's worth the money, you know, you put into it.
Right.
But there's like, you can find some good old Chinese hair that you can reuse.
Well, also to me, I feel like the better the hair, not the more the maintenance, but you need to come accordingly to have the hair like maintained. Because, like I said before, I don't think a weave is the answer to everybody's problem. And there's a lot of girls around here who are just they got money, you know, they got their little bag, they got their little Louboutin, and their hair is nice, but the hair underneath is a mess. It's a mess. So those are the clients we need to see weekly or every other week, because the raw hair, just like hair that's growing out of your scalp, it absorbs nature. Like every little thing gets in the hair. That's how you know that's really the good hair. Now sometimes, you know, the pack hair, it'll do accordingly, but there's like parabens in it to make it last longer. When you feel it, it's good. But then if you put nothing in that hair and you wait like a week and you rub your fingers through it, it's going to feel a little differently. It's not going to give you the same luster because it's in this plastic pack.
Right.
And the plastic pack, along with the parabens, is just it's secluding the moisture inside the pack for the hair. But as soon as you let it out into air, it starts to do whatever it wants to do. But the raw hair will pretty much feel the same way if you take care of it accordingly.
And a lot of the manufactured hair is like processed with silicones to make it like silky and straight and everything. And so, which is why I always wash weave with like silicone based products, because it's what the manufacturers are already using. And that's why when most people wash their extensions at home and they're like, when you wash it, it feels so much better. It's like, yeah, because you're washing it with like VO5, and that's not what the manufacturer
Which is like a dishwasher.
uses. Yeah,
Like
for
a
the
dishwashing
and
detergent.
please, oh my God, please, if you wash your hair at home, get a conditioner that's like a shampoo and conditioner that is remotely for Black people. Well, you don't have any business using Suave, VO5, what's the other? Head and Shoulders, any like just
Mane and tail.
Yeah, mane and tail, just like some people. I mean, I guess Garnier is like on the fence. Some people swear by Garnier.
Garnier has
but-
their little line of the stuff that they will do. The funny thing for me is I recommend those things on virgin hair because that's what cleans it to me. I'll tell my clients real quick, don't you use that conditioner or that shampoo because it has certain things in it that's not going to clean the hair well. I'll tell them to go get some Sun dish detergent, mix with a little water, and just kind of rub it through the hair.
Yeah.
That's what cleans it to me. And then you can condition it after the fact.
Right.
But when you take virgin hair sometimes, especially if it's not raw Indian or raw Peruvian Malaysian hair, and you put all those shampoos in it that have all that moisture, when you go to flat iron it comes out heavy.
Yeah,
It doesn't,
especially
your fingers don't, it comes out straight, but it all moves at once.
yeah, those shampoos that have like or conditioners that have like oils and like your extensions are European texture.
Yeah.
You know, so you're not gonna use the same products you would on our hair. Like this one girl's like, oh, I put this Shea Moistures in it. Like, why? That's
And your
for
weave.
natural hair. That's not for a straight weave. The conditioners, you need a sulfate shampoo. There's this big wave of like, oh, I don't use shampoos with sulfates and I only co-wash. Like, okay, I don't know how you
they don't know what
expect
that means,
your
though.
hair
They're just
to be
kinda
clean.
repeating what they hear
And
a lot
like,
of times.
let's touch on that co-washing because I have clients that are natural. And they feel like, oh, I don't use sulfates. I only co-wash, blah, 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 blah. Co-washing is for people that do it like every 2 to 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just put conditioner in your hair and in between that you're putting grease and oils and butters and then like you think that you're magically washing all that out with just conditioner and water. Like it's going to make a buildup on your hair. It's going to get all like dusty looking and you need a sulfate here and there to just get everything.
Just like a little bit. But what is your take on what do they call it, bleach bathing your hair?
I bleach bath my weave
Okay.
for the gods.
I
have not.
What is that?
Shit.
All right. So when you take and you can do this with any hair because I've done this with some yaki hair and brought it to life. That way, my bob. That was that. Okay. So when you take your hair out of your head and you've had it in extensions, it's kind of saturated with like your oils and things like that. Sometimes, depending on what's gotten on it over time, it needs more than just like a regular shampoo. So with the bleach bath, you're really stripping everything off of this hair. So what I do is you get like bleach and water, you dilute the bleach in the water, you put the hair in.
Like
and
a little
it's-
bit of bleach and a lot of water? Or a lot
it's
of
like
bleach
you could
and
do
a
like a
little
bowl or a sink full of water and maybe like a 2 or 3 capfuls of bleach. Let the hair sit in there and like again,
It's not gonna damage the hair.
no, it doesn't damage anything. Cause I was like, well, I thought like won't it at least turn the weft a different color, but it does
Is
not.
that more like Clorox bleach or like Family Dollar bleach?
Any old bleach. I mean,
Because there's a difference to me. Because like that Family Dollar bleach is like acid.
well, the acid got my tracks.
Oh, okay.
on-
All right. See, I didn't know. I was like, I didn't know if it was,
But you like if you dip it in there and like again, once you pull it out and you feel it, it will feel amazing because you haven't felt the hair that clean. Sometimes you're getting it cleaner than it was when it was even sold to you. So you're really feeling the hair for what it really feels like at that point. You do that a couple times, rinse it. You do it again with ammonia. I know it sounds crazy, right?
I can't do it.
Look, I tried it and it worked.
Smell like when you
I mean, it's
The kitchen
gonna
sink will be
smell,
amazingly
but you're not.
clean
Again, you're
after
just
that.
using a couple
Right.
capfuls. So you do it again with ammonia, then you do it again with a silicone shampoo, and then you do it again with a silicone conditioner, and you let it air dry, and then after that, it will be the best.
That sounds like a long process. Like, how much would you
I mean,
charge somebody to
it
do that
is,
for?
but if you spend a couple $100s on your extensions, like,
And that can bring
you
it
know what I
back,
mean?
right?
And that's going to bring it back. I keep a hair box at the salon. So, like, when people get their hair taken out, I put it aside. If people leave hair, I put it aside. And, like, at the end of the year, I have this big box full of hair. And last year, I went through it. I had, like 15 bundles of hair all together, and I bleach bathed all of it, and it all just came back to life.
Made
And I made a
wigs
couple wigs and everything, and like this was like old hair that people throw in the garbage.
leave, yeah.
So it's like if you spend a good buck on hair, it it's in your best interest to learn how to revive it, because who has hundreds of dollars?
Or just come to one of
like-
us to maintain it. One of my pet peeves is spending all of this money on this hair and just wearing the weave for 6 months without even taking care of it at all.
and then throwing it away, and it's like, why didn't you
Right.
save it? Oh, I don't know. Like,
Yeah, just
girl,
throwing it
you
away.
must like wasting money, because I'll save this plastic.
On
here.
top of that, spending all that money on the weave, but wanting like a $40 install.
Yeah, that to me, it's like getting a Ferrari and getting like the parts for the Ferrari and going to your cousin Pookie to get the parts put on.
Yeah.
instead of the Ferrari dealership.
Yeah,
like,
just out
if
front,
you
like-
spent $400 on hair, you should be spending at least half of that for your installation. That just doesn't make, you got $400 hair and you want a $50 sew in. That doesn't really add up.
And then they complain if it's not right. There's
Doesn't add up to me.
There's a gap in my hair.
Why, girl? Because
You get what you pay for.
You didn't pay.
And in the end, when you pay for something and you didn't really spend the money you were supposed to spend, you end up spending more money later trying to
Getting it
fix
fixed. Because I
That's
have
with
people that are like,
anything.
oh, I
Yeah.
went to the $50 weave shop and now I need it fixed. And it's like, what lesson did we learn? Stop being cheap.
You know what's funny though, Brooklyn, as well, is when the clients sit down in your chair and the problem with their hair has been everybody else's fault.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Or the client that's like, oh, my hair was doing real good until last week when I took my braids out and it all just came out. Like, bitch, you did not lose a lifetime with the hair
Just
in
that
this
fast.
in this one like
I had
braid
this girl in my
sitting.
head and she just burned. I mean, just look at it. It's just a mess.
Yeah, and
You just
like
look-
if you didn't take care of your style, like own that. Stop demonizing your last stylist. 9 times out of 10, they did tell you what to do and you just didn't do it. And us stylists, like, we already know what the deal is. Like, you don't need to sell us this story. We know when you just don't take care of your hair.
'Cause you're here for a reason,
And
so
you probably
unless
drove
you're-
your last stylist crazy, and that's why you're in
Unless
our
your
chair
stylist
now.
is dead or locked up, you probably drove them crazy.
Yes, because when
That's
people are like,
probably why you're here.
"Oh,
Or
well, my
they
last
moved, or
stylist
maybe they
did this,"
moved.
it's like, if your last stylist was so grand, we wouldn't even be having this conversation right now, and you would not be in my face with these questions. You'd be at that magical stylist house getting your magical service.
Well,
done.
this is the funny part to me. I was gonna go to Keisha down there on 30th, but she too expensive. I'm cheap. Is that what you're saying? You calling me cheap now? Like my services are cheaper. Like I don't think that's something you should tell anybody that you're getting service from. That the next person costs it more than you cost.
Especially if you're not gonna tip.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not gonna tip, then just shut the hell up. Like if I'm charging you $150 and you go someplace that charge you $250 and you're like, oh, the last place charged me $250, it's like, okay, then you can at least tip me $25 then. If you're gonna like acknowledge that I'm way cheaper and still not tip, then it's like, you cheap asshole.
I just feel like we get tried a lot.
We do.
We get tried a whole lot, and every day I feel like I'm coming to her station and I'm like venting about something that the client said or that the client did. And I mean, even the clients that are like, well, can I get a discount because I'm coming from like North Carolina? Like, I don't really care how far if you contacted me to get your hair done, I don't think it really matters. You know, I mean, you want your hair done. If you want to drive from Mars, that's your business. But long as you pay when you sit in my chair, I don't understand why they do stuff like that. It's just
That or when clients change their mind a couple days later, like, oh, I want something else. I still got to pay. Like, you have to pay for every second you take up in my
I
chair.
washed my hair already.
I don't care if you just got it done.
I cut my
this
hair already. I
morning.
dyed it black myself. Like you've done these things, and I've quoted you a price. And once I've quoted you a price, I expect for that price to be that. So by you saying, well, maybe it'll be cheaper if I wash my own hair, or if I color it
like
myself.
I don't care if you get to the salon and all I'm putting is the last stitch. I don't care. Doing half your service at home does not change anything. I didn't ask you to do
What
that.
if they call you back and say, well, I've dyed my hair already, is the price different?
It'll take up
Before
the.
you get there.
If they were like, okay, so something like color, if you colored your hair prior or you relaxed your hair prior, that's one thing the service has already done. But if you schedule an appointment for a weave and you show up and you already got braids in your head, I don't give a damn. I'm
gonna
still
be like
charging
a
you
mess.
the same price
Yeah, I let
because
my-
now I have to work with somebody else's braid pattern. If I don't have to, like, I didn't tell you to do this.
Color is like iffy because a lot of clients, you'll give them a price for color, which I think our color at the salon is inexpensive. I just think so. But you'll give them that price. And
You just said you didn't like that.
that's what inexpensive.
When people say stuff is inexpensive.
I don't think it's cheap, but I don't think it's like how you explain?
It's not break the bank color.
Like when you
it's
go to
very,
like the
it's
salons,
very affordable.
Highlights at the Caucasian salons will run you $120 and up. That's just for highlights. Sometimes a partial. You can get a full head of color at most African American salons anywhere from $20 to probably $80. It just really depends. So you'll tell them how much it costs for the color, and you already know deep down inside that might could affect their pocket. They're going to go to Rite Aid, buy some black color, and that's what they're going to use. Black color from Rite Aid doesn't always cover your gray. There's certain, I mean, you might not even read the box. You may or may not read the box, but when you come to the salon, if you want your gray covered, you can get your gray covered at the salon because that's what we specialize in. So it's kind of like you've already colored your hair black and you're coming to the salon to get services done. It's like, I colored it black already and I'm going through your hair and I'm just like, girl, either you missed some spots or you just, so now I'm like, guess what happens? Your hair isn't black. Oh, really? Let me see. And I show it to them. Guess what they got to do? Go spend their money to get a color black now.
So you just
So that's what
everybody's
$9 at Rite Aid, and now maybe $30 in here. You spent more money. Just get it done the right way.
And the thing
I
I think,
talking about me because I'm gonna make a confession. Dark and lovely chestnut blonde. I love that color.
that was my first color, girl.
I love it because, and the reason why, and I've tried to go to a salon and get it done this way. The reason why I love the color, I don't know what they do or how they do it. It's different colors in one. I mean, I don't know how they do it, how it comes out. I don't know. But every time I try to get it at a salon, it never comes out that way.
Now, do you do it yourself?
Yeah, when I do it at home. But
See, now that's one thing.
Try to do it.
If you, and this is for certain people, of course, but if you have something that you are able to do to your hair successfully and you know that the results are guaranteed, then stick with that.
But I also don't color my hair to death. Like if I color my hair maybe once a year, and that is in the summer, and then I let it all grow out. You know what I mean? I don't usually don't retouch it. So someone actually thought I had an ombre. They asked me who dyed my hair, and I'm like, no, it's just the color.
It's real lit when it grows out. It's like it's
See,
everything.
I don't think you're not trying to be cheap about the situation
No,
either.
I
It's
just
like,
can't.
Right.
I mean, I have clients that have been coloring their own hair for years.
Yeah, like if the salon isn't going to give you the exact same results, like there's certain things that I don't give a damn. I just want to do it myself. Just be like, I like to flat iron my own hair. I might ask him to press my roots and let me flat iron my own hair. I just like flat ironing my own hair. So there's going to be certain things like you know your hair better than anything else. So, well, those of you that take the time, you look like a sane person because some of y'all are crazy. But I mean, if you know that you're going to get exactly what you want out of it, then just don't put nobody else.
I would love to be able to go to a salon to get it. I've tried to do it. But
Nope,
it doesn't turn
no,
out
I'm
the
just
same time.
Because stuff like that, you really have to search for the right person, and you don't want to.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, but you
And
don't
if it
want to
works
take the
for you-
chance, and someone like doesn't give you your you're trying to find someone to fill your shoes,
That's true.
and
And
you
then
know,
stuck with it, and I let my hair. I'll let it grow
and your
out,
hair might
and
just
I
be
did
used
that.
to dark and lovely at this point.
It
You know what I
is.
mean?
I
So
do, like I said, maybe once
you
a-
might
once
get
year.
a salon color and it. Be
There
too
are
harsh
some
or something.
clients that really do a good job on their own hair most of the time, and they just want to come to you because they just want a break. I just don't feel like doing it this week. And I'm like, your hair is going really good. And, those are the few that I guess the YouTube work for them.
Yeah,
And the product from YouTube work for their situation. But
I feel like in the Black community, because hair is like such a trade in our community, you have a lot of people that feel like they have enough knowledge to do certain things at home, and then you have like with most white people don't really do hair at home. It's not like a trade, and
but that's a true.
and their so their salons can say like, oh, it's $250 for these highlights, and it's like, oh, okay, because they don't have like a cousin and a sister and a homegirl that can just do the highlights. Versus us, it's like, girl, Challis can do my highlights for free, and I will bake him.
My homegirl said you do weeds for $70.
Like your homegirl's a lioness.
I'm like, I might have hooked her up because she come every other week, but I might go do yours for $70.
Yeah, and yeah, if you get a discount, don't promote the discount.
Yeah,
If you get a
Promote
discount,
my full
don't ask me for a
full
discount.
service. Like,
That's
girl,
a
I was
pet peeve
hooking
of
you
mine.
up.
That's
Not
a pet peeve of mine
the
to ask
family.
for a discount. I don't think anybody should ask for a discount anywhere. If we have certain stuff that's posted on our window because we have these posters or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, like if you walk in and you've seen that and you said I want that, I'm going to give it to you, but I'm just not going to let you come in and just offer you a discount. Hey, I'm doing blowouts today for $35.
It's
I'm not gonna do
tacky,
that.
especially like if it's not being advertised. What you're really asking is, hey, can you give me the same quality and I just pay you less money because I just don't feel like paying you what I normally do. Like, it's really, really tacky. Most businesses, no matter what it is, if there's some type of discount special going on, it's posted. So if you go to McDonald's and you're like, oh, can I get the 3 Whoppers for $2? And they're like, we don't have that special going on. Well,
like
can I get it? Like, no, because we don't have that special going on.
But those 3 Whoppers for $2, you want those to be the best Whoppers ever in life for whatever reason. When you get
when that
sewing
special's going on, like, that's what you get. But in that same breath, if you go get a cheeseburger off the dollar menu and you add bacon and lettuce and guacamole,
no longer a special.
you know, it's no longer the dollar burger.
It's not.
You know, so people come in like, oh, I noticed you guys have a special, and then they think it's just this like all you can weave buffet. Like, no, this price covers this, and this. You want extra bundles, you want extra curls, you want a
color.
treatment, you want a trim, and then it's like, oh, but I thought that was no, you didn't think anything.
I found it funny because I feel like you're working with a budget, and when you ask for the special and you receive the special, the money that you're not spending, you're going to put it somewhere else. What can I get a rinse?
Yeah.
So it's like I've done all of this now.
And then you want to add, oh, well, can I get wine curls? Like, I hate doing services on
Yeah,
top
my
of a
wine
special.
curls are broken after 2 p.m. every day I work. I'm sorry.
Like, like a smoothie machine.
Yeah, it's broken.
Like, I'm sorry,
I don't do wine
the
curls.
smoothie machine.
First thing in the morning, I can wine curl you. I don't have a problem with that. But after a certain time of day, I'm not sitting there wine curling you. And then, like, you have to understand as well, pin curls are extra. I will pin curl my consistent clients. I don't have a problem with that. But you're not gonna come from me with the special and then you was like, can you pin curl my curls up? Like, no, you need to give me extra $10. And you might need to bring your own damn pins.
You do need to bring your own.
I'm not. That's crazy.
It's like anything that you ask for is gonna be extra, you know, because a lot of these things are separate services. Like wine curls. I've refused wine curls at the end of the day. Like, you know, I'll ask people, how do you want your hair? When I'm really asking is, do you want it flat iron? Do you want it curl? I'm like, oh, can I get one? I'm like, don't you ask for no damn
But how do
wine
they say it
curls.
though, Brooklyn?
It's 8 o'clock at fucking night.
How do they say it though? It's like, how you get your hairstyle?
No, and they always want to like spring it up on you. It's like they just had this epiphany, like, oh, wine curls. No. It's 9 o'clock
They
at night.
don't
Like,
last long.
well,
No, they don't.
They don't.
But
It's-
if you pin curl them and you know what you're doing, you can make them last.
but they're so small, you'd have to like.
Yeah.
I can pin curl it. Do I trust my clients to pin curl wine curls every night? No.
No.
And there, like some stuff I just won't do for my clients because it's like you're not about to waste my time with this bull sense. Like you're not about to pin your hair up. You're not about to do any of this
A
stuff.
2-bundle 40-inch wand curl. 2 bundles. 2 bundles.
Oh no, that would
Yeah, no.
I'm like, you just
and then you
kinda
have to
wasting
take
my
these
time.
small
At 8
pieces.
o'clock.
Like, yeah, it's just it's not happening. It's probably not even happening during the daytime. I'm just gonna let you know. I'm kind of ratchet of a stylist, and I kind of break my clients in real soon. Like, just so you know, this is the type of relationship that you and I
So you
are about to have.
They have to set you up like, okay, do you feel like doing this today?
They get the gist of it. Like once you've come to me twice, you kind of know. Like, don't come in here pissing me off, and don't surprise me. Anything you want, let me know it before you get here. Don't spring nothing up on.
I'm like this. If you treat me good, I'll treat you good. And I get a little irritated when I haven't seen you in a while or heard from you in a while, and you're like blowing up my phone because all of a sudden your glue-in has been there for 2 months and it looks bad. You don't leave
All of a
your
sudden, you're
services.
gluing that you went to somebody else to get.
Or even the one that I did. It's like, why is your glue in for 2 months? Now, I feel like our culture, for whatever reason, they wait until their hair looks bad before they make an appointment. They don't consistently make sure that it looks good and that it's healthy. So I'll give you a weave. I won't see you for 3 months. And then I need a weave. Like, I need my hair to look better. No, or your glue-in, you've left it in for 2 months. And it's like, now my glue-in looks a mess. Your glue-in is only supposed to last maybe 8 days. Maybe 2 weeks at that. It just depends on what you get done. Because that glue is very, very damaging. It just is. And there's a proper way to put it in. There's a proper way to take it out. But then they're like pulling it. Just yank it from their edges, and they're like, "My hair, look,
I don't do glue.
My hair not growing right here."
I just don't. I don't do glue. I'm a stylist that doesn't do glue.
And I do, and I have a very healthy way of doing it. My clients aren't like, you know.
I just hate it. I don't like how it
glue to your
smells.
own damn skin.
I don't like washing it out. I don't like none of it. And I tell like, don't come up in here. And I've had clients like try to spring it like, oh, I'm just gonna get a glue in. Like, girl, I don't do glue-ins, and I told you that.
Like Challis.
So
The glue in
I don't mind doing it. I think it's an
cost
awesome.
effective. I'll say.
I think it's an awesome.
It's not anything for me because I don't do it. So it's like if for my chair,
Okay.
you're not weaseling your way. If you need to put your hair, you need to put it away. And if your hair is already damaged, I'm not going to contribute to future damage. I've had to explain to people, and one of the hardest things to do as a stylist is to explain to a fragile grown woman that her hair is never going to grow back because she's put glue in it too many times. That's kind of like, because people want that hope. Even people with the worst hair feel like, okay, well, maybe you can start getting healthier. But when you really have to tell somebody like, girl, this hair never growing back, that's hard to tell somebody.
It is.
It's harder to say it's never growing back. Now hand me that bottle of glue so I can paste this shit back.
Unless you got some type of pill or something or some type of surgery, I'm not.
Yeah,
really
because
sure.
sometimes it could be medication
Well, there's
or
no
whatever,
there's
or
no
stress or
medication.
like alopecia and stuff like that. But there's a lot of young ladies out that are like experiencing traction alopecia due to glue, and everybody's convinced like, oh, it runs in my family. Like, girl, glue run in your family, okay? Because you're all using this damn glue, and it's like Challis said, there are healthy ways to get gluten out of your hair. It's just these clients, they get this hair in their head and they act like they just never had a strand of natural hair in their life, and they just let it sit, and you can't be so wrapped up in your weave that you're just hanging on to it. At some point
It's not
you
a
need
priority.
to.
They don't make their hair the priority. It's supposed to be a priority. If you're making your hair your priority, you're calling at a decent time to make an appointment at a decent hour. You're making sure at least 3 or 4 days in advance, that I'm coming and what we're going to do to it. If your hair is breaking off, you're having issues with it, and we already know it's not going to grow back, let's make what you have healthy underneath this weave or this glue-in or whatever. You can't just give up on it. I hate when they sit in the chair and it's kind of like, my hair's just a mess. It's just not doing anything. Okay, then you start asking these questions like, well, what have you done to it in the last couple of days? When's the last time you had it styled? When's the last time you had a treatment? When's the last time you've done anything to your hair? And sometimes it's like months. And so that's kind of like your fault. So you want to sit in my chair and then you're going to show me a picture of somebody with this long, healthy hair, like I want my hair like this. I'm just like, I can't really, because maybe she's been going to the salon every 2 weeks, like she's supposed to. So let's make what you have.
I get that a lot because people are like, oh, well, you just have good hair. Like everybody says that to me. And it's like, I have healthy hair because I take care of it. And if I didn't take care of it, and there was a time where I wasn't, and it did all of the stereotypical things that unhealthy hair doesn't do. Like, you can't just neglect your hair, for months, years on end, and then expect a stylist to do something in one sitting. Like, that's not fair on the stylist, and it's not realistic to you. But you also have to be willing to listen to what your stylist is telling you, because what I hate is when I'm giving somebody like some real knowledge that I know for a fact works about hair, and they keep combating it with wives' tales that my grandma said. I don't give a goddamn what your grandmother said. If the bitch hair ain't swinging, I don't want to hear it. And that's all there is to it. It's just like at some point you have to give up what you're taught and learn what actually works, and
be consistent with it, and don't after you're finished and it looks amazing, and I tell you I need to see you in a week or two, and you just disappear for another 6 months, and then the next 6 months it's the same problem.
Yeah, it's like a doctor's office. Like, if your doctor says I need to see you again in 2 weeks, you come back in 2 weeks. You don't really like question like, oh, well, maybe I don't really need to come back. No, I said come back in 2 weeks so that we can treat this again. So it's like you kind of got to take your hair seriously if you expect to see a change in it. Especially kids' hair. I just want to touch on that real quick. If you have a daughter, little girl, trim her ends. Children,
or have them trimmed.
Or a little boy, children need their ends trimmed. They need their ends trimmed. A lot of kids have like really bad split ends, and that's what makes their hair like really, really hard to comb through. And then the parents like, shut up, it don't hurt. And it's like, actually, it does hurt because she hasn't had her ends trimmed and she's 5.
And it's not her fault.
You know what I mean? And like half
She's
of her
5.
hair is like, because split ends don't just detangle like regular hair, you know? And so if the longer you go without split ends, some people's hair keeps growing with split ends. It's just half of the strand will be damaged hair. And so if your kid has never had a trim, they're not getting treatments, yeah, every session is going to be like this death torture because their hair is so unhealthy. And what a lot of parents don't want to hear is you kind of need to cut your baby's hair off because you've been neglecting it for too long. You know, but because you can't be so wrapped up in putting these crochets in your baby's head and like all these little styles and like, you know, swoop-de-loops that you're not actually taking care of your child's hair.
We get 3 sets of hair, sometimes 4. And I'm going to add to what you said as far as like the kids, because you cannot put all of these beads and bobos in these children's heads. It's heavy. It's a lot. It looks like it hurts. That's what pulls their hair out. And at a certain age, I don't think it's proper either to lock a child's hair up. I just don't, because locks are heavy.
Or line it up with the clippers.
Or
and
line it
stuff.
up with the clippers, because you're especially the first set of hair. You got your infant hair, and then it goes into your hair from like maybe like 3 to like 6, and then after that you start going to like adult hair like 7, 8.
And I think it changes again during puberty. That's like the
it
last
changes,
change.
It can change again, right?
Which you really
So,
shouldn't be getting like any chemical services before then.
weaves, like
or
weaves at
relaxers.
14.
Like little girls don't need perms. I don't care.
Will you do someone's weave, a 14-year-old?
I've done a 14-year-old's weave. The youngest I've done is 13, and it's because she was in cheerleading and she did like competitions and stuff. But typically I don't have a lot of like young. I have one other like young weave client. Because she had locks that she combed out, and I guess she fought. These little girls be fighting, so they be having bald spots and shit that we just didn't have at that age. And so she needs something because she has like this big gaping bald spot in her head, and that's just what it is.
I have, but I do it by consultation, and if I feel like your hair is damaged at 13, we can still fix the problem. Unless you have alopecia or cancer, we can still fix the problem. I think at 13. Your hair can still be soft depending on your natural hair texture. By putting a weave in it could just make it worse. So I'll say no, let's just try and do other methods.
Or like a simple style. Like if your daughter doesn't take care of her natural hair, she's not gonna take care of an 18-inch long weave. Like give her a kid ass style, like some braids or some cornrows, because that's the other thing. Like you have parents, this generation of girls wear Brazilian hair and virgin hair and all this shit that we just didn't have in the 7th grade. But they
that's when 12 inches was like the longest ever in life.
Yeah, when I was in high school, you were lucky if you had like 2 rows of tracks. Yeah. Like a whole head full of weave was just like out of the question.
But you have these parents like
they bring their daughter in and they're like, oh, she has a 28, 26, 24 with the closure, and she's getting wand curls, and you know, well, how much? And it's like, okay, it's 175, and it's like, I mean, dang, she's just a little girl, and it's like, okay, but your little girl wants a grown ass woman hairstyle. Weaves are for grown working women. They're not for little kids. So it's like I still have to braid her hair up, stitch it in just like I would a grown woman. Like it's not my fault you think the only protective style for your daughter is this grown woman
style. It sounds like the mom is lazy, because at 13 the girls are doing their own hair around here. And you're going to put that weave in, and that little girl go home, and she's going to flat iron the shit out of her leave out every single day before school. Because she want to impress her little friends.
She want to gel her edges down and swoop them every single day. Like, you need some damn braids. Some kid stuff, because it's a setup for failure. Like, I didn't start wearing weaves until I was 16.
I think 16 is fair.
I was 16.
And at 16,
and I was out of school too, so I wasn't like walking through high school swinging tracks and stuff. Like we didn't have all this stuff in high school.
You 16, you get 16 inches, and at 18, you get 18 inches. And at 19, you can just get out.
My first was an 18 inch. I had like 4 rows, and it was like a number 4. My hair was brown, and I had my bangs cut, so I felt like Electra. You couldn't tell me anything.
I've seen it.
You could tell me nothing with that weave in my head.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in so much for another session of Chatting with Challis. My guest co-host Brooklyn did an awesome job.
All right, everybody.
We'll see you guys again in another 2 weeks.
Oh, my social media on Instagram is Minako, MINAKO _styles, STYLES.
And my Instagram is _individualist. I don't feel like spelling it. Individualist, so individual with an IST on the end. And my Facebook is Challis Aubrey. So if you have any more extra questions or anything like that, feel free to hit my DMs, and I will respond to you in an orderly manner. You guys have it also.
My Facebook is Brooklyn Page,
Yeah.
but it's not.
PAGE.
Yeah, BRICKLINPAGE. I'm ratchet on Facebook, so I do post hair stuff, but I post the ratchetness as well.
She do. She do. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have an awesome night.
Thank you.
And we are out. All right, let's take some pics real quick.